Hello. It was literally the next day from when I did my last video. It's only 8 o'clock at night, but I'm really proud of myself. I woke up at 10. I woke up at 10, which is really crazy. I haven't been able to do that for like a long time, and I did it today. And I was really proud of myself, and I think I'm gonna try to do it again tomorrow, maybe even 9. It's gonna help me so much. Actually, I have to wake up because I have school. Some school thing. But I want to talk a little bit about what's going on. So I'm really fucking poor. I hate being poor. It sucks, dude. It really sucks. And I talked a little bit about that on my yesterday video, but it's just hard. Like, you're poor the whole time building a business. And where does all your money go? Your money goes maybe to bills if you have enough, if you make enough. And then where else does it go? Like buying shit for the business. So I have to buy a new filter for my vacuum. I only have like 20 bucks. And I'd rather eat food. Like, I'm so hungry right now. I'm so hungry. And I've only eaten like maybe 1,000 calories today. So that sucks. That really fucking sucks. It sucks so much. And I'm hungry. Anyway, what I really want to talk about is my mom. So, I don't know. She said it doesn't mean anything by that. But basically, let me just tell you what happened. So, I called her today and I asked her if she could help me with my rent because it's due like next week. And she's always kind of like, oh, fuck, really? You again, a place to live? I don't know, dude. And it's been like this my whole life. Little comments like this. That, man, it would just be convenient if you didn't exist. It would just be convenient if you didn't have to eat. It would just be convenient if you didn't have to live. You know? Like, that's the message it gives me. Because I remember, it reminds me of being a little boy and saying, like, Mom, I'm really hungry. She'd be like, oh, really? You're hungry fucking again? I just fed you, like, this morning, you know, and it's like 6 o'clock at night. It's like, haven't you learned to feed yourself yet? I heard that shit all the time. All the time. Even at like 10 years old, you know, when I didn't know how to cook. God knows they don't have the time to set aside to teach you. They don't care about teaching you. They just expect you to miraculously pop out of the womb and just be able to self-sustain. It's not how it works. And I grew up in a household without a mom. I grew up in a household with 2 dads. They both worked all the time. They didn't cook. Rarely did they cook. Nobody taught me how to do laundry or how to cook or any of that. Or nurture myself or nurture me. Nobody. And so now, and that might be the start of my suicidality, is like, man, wouldn't it just be convenient for my mom if I was just fucking dead? If I didn't exist? Wow, you'd never have to worry about, you know, covering the rent of your child. You'd never have to worry about, you know, feeding them or helping them because they'd be fucking dead. Woohoo! I'm fucking dead. Why don't I just do that? That's basically what it feels like, you know? Like, why don't I just fucking die? But instead of dying, what I established instead was neglect. Neglect. Self-neglect. Don't feed myself. Don't eat anything. Just starve yourself all the time. And, you know, I heard things like, wow, you're so easy. We barely have to feed you. Wow, you're doing so well and you're such an overachiever. And we barely even take care of you. We barely water this plant. Oh my God. And it's pretending like it doesn't have needs. And it miraculously grows like a miracle plant. But we don't fucking water it. Or put it out in the sun. Even though that's really fucking easy to do. I'm angry. I'm really angry. And every time I've asked my mom for some help, It's this thing. It's the same thing of like, ugh. Because if I had a fucking child, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna fucking lie right now. If I had a child and they said, I need help paying rent, I would do two things. First, I would brainstorm with them. Okay, what is the problem that's making it hard for you to pay your own rent? And how can I help you solve that problem? Because is there a problem, like, are you depressed? Are you emotional? Are you struggling? Are you having trouble finding a job? Like, what is it? Because you are capable of doing this yourself, and let me help empower you to that. That's the first thing I do. Second thing I do is I'd say, fucking of course. Of course, baby, I'll help you. You're my fucking child. I brought you into this world, and I will always help you. And it's not necessarily effortless or easy for me to do, but I will always do that. And you combine those two, you combine self-actualization with deep, unconditional fucking love. That's how you help someone. And my mom doesn't fucking know how to do that. She does not know. Okay? And so instead, it's this comment of like, ugh, really? And then she said to me today, every time I help you pay for your rent, I go further into debt. Or every time I help you pay for rent, I can't pay my own bills. Just so you know. And then she said something tagged on the end of it like, oh, but don't make that mean anything. Don't make that mean. How the fuck is that supposed to not mean anything? Oh, you're just gonna drop that on me. Like, every time I help you when you're struggling, by the way, you should feel guilty. You should feel guilty about it because I'm struggling. I'm struggling too. And it's your job to take care of me. It's your job to have no needs. It's your job to have no requirements of me at all financially so that I can just completely be rid of the poisonous leech that is you. That's how it feels when she says that. That's how it fucking feels. So don't even say that shit. If it truly is like not a big deal, or don't make it mean anything, don't even fucking say it. Don't say it. Just don't say it. You don't need to add that on the end. Now I feel guilty. Now I feel shitty. Now, not only do I not feel empowered, not feel self-actualized to help myself figure out how to solve this, not only am I not celebrating the wins that I have had, and I'm focusing all on the negative, all on my failures, all of how much I have needs that I shouldn't have because, it's taxing other people. And I'm not focusing on the solution and empowerment and self-actualization while feeling safe in this moment, while feeling loved, while feeling like I'm going to be okay. Really. Because it doesn't feel that way at all. This is why I don't ask things of my mom. This is also why I didn't do graduation ceremony at all. For college, literally, I worked my ass off. I got a 4.0. I came back to college as an older adult and I did so well and I had no support and no friends and no family and no nothing. And I didn't even bother going to the graduation ceremony because I thought nobody gives a shit about me. Enough to care to see me. That's what I thought. And I thought, if I tell my mom I want her to come, she'll literally go into fucking debt to make it happen. And then secretly, under the surface, hold resentment over that debt. While also enjoying the fact that she could be the only person to celebrate me, but not really releasing that fucking resentment towards me. For wanting to be seen or wanting to be loved or wanting to be fed or wanting to have shelter. And I have nobody to talk to. about it at all. The only people I can talk to is my mom and my dad. And if the problem involves them, I can't talk to anyone. And so it's like this just guilty feeling of feeling like shit, which is where all of my problems involving my eating disorder, body dysmorphia, neglecting my body, abusing myself, hurting myself, all originate from, is even suicidal thoughts. Just feeling like I'm a burden for having needs and for existing and for wanting to be loved and wanting somebody to help me figure out how to do it by myself. And the problem is, I've asked her more than once in the past. And here's the fucking thing. It's like, it's not changing. Something's not changing. And I don't know what it is. But obviously the problem's not changing. And I don't know what it is. And I don't know how to fix it. I'm working my fucking ass off trying to build a business. I've worked jobs in the past. And here's the thing. I think here's the big thing. Is like, I'm going to focus on something good. I have paid all of my fucking bills. All of them. All of them. Every single one. I paid all of them. By myself. Independently. Working my fucking ass off. Breaking my fucking neck. And what do I get? Nothing. Nothing. There's no I'm proud of you. There's no wow, you're doing so great. There's no let's sit and celebrate this. No. It's just irrelevant. I don't give a shit. Oh well, out of sight, out of mind. Don't care. You're not leeching off me. Who gives a fuck? But then as soon as I ask for help, it's guilt. It's, resentment. It's bitterness. It's harbored feelings. And that doesn't actually help me release shit and say, okay, well, I fell down this month. That's what you need from a mother. That's what you need. Okay, I'll help you because I love you, because you're my child. I love you and I always want you to succeed. Okay, and you fell down the horse. That's okay. Let's get back up. Let's get back up and let's hit it for July, Let's hit it for July and let's succeed and let's do really well. You can do that and you will do that. And I believe in you and I know you will do that. How can we brainstorm a solution where that you can plan so that you have what it takes to pay all your bills for July? How can we do that? Let me help you talk about it. But I don't have that. So it's just me by myself trying to figure it out for July. And in the past, what's happened actually is I spend so much time feeling shitty, feeling guilty, really going into depression. I've literally gone into depression because I asked my mom for help with rent. And that depression sunk me so fucking low, so suicidal, so fucking hopeless that it trails over into the next month. And then I ask again, and it's 10 times worse the second time. And she's just like, you're just a leech. You're a chronic problem. You can't ever fix anything. You can't ever get up off your feet. What the fuck? Why would you ever give your child that message? Even if you're not saying those words to them, it's coded underneath everything. And what really could help me, literally, this is the same thing as fitness, right? Because when you go to the gym, eating well, and then you fucking fail because you're not used to it, or you fucking fail because it's hard. If you are grieving and feeling guilty and not forgiving yourself for failing, and other people aren't forgiving you too, like if somebody's your trainer and they're, guilt tripping you, that is going to sit with you. And it's not going to move, and you're going to be stuck, and it'll be not a couple days, but a couple weeks, couple months, or years before you decide to start again and go to the gym. And, maybe I fucking failed, but you know what? I'm going to try again still anyways. You know, that's what I've learned, is that resentment and guilt do so much to fucking hinder you. And I don't think she even realizes, you know, like, I can do this. I have done this by myself. I just need you to support me and help me and give me space to figure out how to make it on my own. Because I am starting a fucking business. I have no money. I'm completely poor. I'm literally not eating anything. I've lost like 4 pounds or something, which is really bad for me because I'm already very skinny. And when I have this consistency of eating well and going to the gym and then I fail, what I do is I have so much overwhelming grace and kindness and compassion with myself. And I also combine it with pride for the fact that I did go for so long without crashing. And the pride and the forgiveness is exactly what you need. And then the third step is commitment. And you look at yourself and you say, I commit to you that I'm going to try to go tomorrow. If you fail again tomorrow, then you forgive yourself tomorrow. And you say, I'm going to commit to you, I'm going to go tomorrow. And you do that every day until one day you go back. And usually if you have those components that really mitigate your feelings, I can crash and fail for like, I don't know, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day at the gym and then go right back like nothing happened. And it's the same in this scenario where I can't pay my rent or I fail to pay it. And then, you know, I keep my head up and I am proud of myself for paying my rent for May and April, you know, which I fucking did. And I look at it and I'm just proud. And then I forgive myself for failing. And then I commit that I'm going to do everything I can to make it for July. That's what would be nice. And my mom, whenever I ask money from her, anything, it always comes with a price. And that price is not usually worth the help that it's bringing. Because it really, really fucking hurts me and hinders me and knocks me down. And I feel guilty and depressed and hopeless and worthless and like I'm better off just not existing and not living anywhere so I don't have rent, so I don't have food needs, so I don't have healthcare needs, so I don't have car insurance. That'd be great. Why don't just drive the fucking car off a bridge and then that'll solve all the problems. No more car insurance, no more health insurance, no more rent, no more money. Just liberated. And that's how it felt like my whole time, my whole childhood. And I think the hard thing is like, she's so fucking wounded that I can't have this conversation with her because it brings up so much feeling of guilt and shame and badness and negative feelings for her instead of moving through the fact that she did her best, you know, and getting over herself and getting over her own fucking feelings about what happened, about how she's acted, and trying to act in a different way where I feel worthy, where I feel lovable, where I feel good enough. And where she feels that way too. But this is what people don't fucking talk about. It's like there's a real severance in being the generational curse breaker of like you and your parents. You and your parents. It's like black and fucking white. People think, oh, you were raised by these wonderful people. I have their qualities. I have some traits of them. But at the end of the day, the healing was done by me. The transformation was done by me. The embracing of the difficult feelings and the moving them through my body was done by me. No one else. Don't expect to find that in them. Expect to find stuck emotions, stuck trauma, stuck pain that hasn't fucking healed and may never. And so this is going to be hard to navigate because I know if I can move through it well, I can set myself up where that I probably pay my bills and have more from now till the end of the year. What sucks though is like my mom's only proud of me when I do it all alone with no guidance and no help and no support. Because that's really the only option, is to figure it all out without any guidance or help. Not knowing at all what the fuck I'm doing. Not knowing at all what I'm doing. But if 6 months from now I ended up paying all my bills all the time, from here on out, she would say, you know what? You've really grown a lot. I'm really proud of the work you've done. And then as soon as I might ask for help again, if that ever were to happen, it would be completely opposite. Like, my debt goes further and further and worse, and it's such a burden and so hard and so difficult when you need things from me. But a child is not a fucking leech. A child is not a fucking parasite. A child is not a fucking barnacle. It's different. If you don't understand that, don't even bring one into the world, because they're going to spend their whole lives trying to end their lives and take themselves out of the world because you don't feel like they're worthy or valuable. You see them as a leech or a siphon rather than a beautiful flower that bloomed from you. And that's how they're going to feel. That's how I felt my whole life. Probably from like 8 to 28, which is the age I am now. 20 fucking years. 2 decades of feeling like worthless. Like I'm just a parasite. I'm better off not being here. I'm going to go to the gym today. I'm going to try to wake up again tomorrow at 9. In times like this, like, if you take the financial support away, which I'm not discounting it, it's a really big thing to help me. But after the conversation today, I kind of just want to like call my dad and just like, I don't know, ask him. My dad's different with money. He's kind of weird though too. He can be, as soon as he starts talking with money, he starts getting really quiet, like it's a secret. And there's no like boundaries set. There's no lines set for what's happening or where the support can go. You know, like if they were to talk to me like it's business, like, okay, here's what I can do. I can give you this much to help you for this amount of time. But I don't know, I just feel like I have not felt capable. I've not felt worthy. I've not felt good enough. I've not felt like I can. I've not felt like I'm strong enough or worthy or good enough or any of that to make it on my own. My whole life, especially my adult life. And I think I can change that if I really work. But I'm doing it alone. And I'm doing it with fucking mental illness. I'm doing it with fucking prejudice from being gay. I'm doing it with all of these hurdles. No family, no friends, no nothing. I was gonna start being delusionally optimistic. But my mom asked, like, how much do I need? And I can tell, like, the higher the number, the more energetic tax she's going to give me of bitterness or resentment or, anger. So if I ask her for less, like, oh, I only need like 200, it would be less cost for later than if I asked for more. And I'm really trying. Like, I just wish she could have compassion for that and see and maybe try to help me figure things out. Because nobody teaches you this in school at all. They teach you algebra and biology and stupid shit that does not matter at all. Unless you're going into a field where those things matter. Literally. How many countless hundreds of hours did I waste in high school doing science, doing math? And I don't use any of that. It's like the whole system's messed up. Would be nice to learn about maybe business or starting a business or, improving your emotional health. But I think that's probably all I'll say for today's video. I'm really hungry, like I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. I don't know. I think I said this, I'm gonna start being delusionally positive because it's summertime. Sometimes that does actually really help. And I don't like to do it in the winter at all because I like to focus on validating the real experience. Sometimes when you're delusionally happy, you're ignoring reality. And reality can be very difficult and very painful. And you're keeping yourself stuck because you're not acknowledging the truth. You're just trying to woo-woo your way through a lot of pain that won't go anywhere until you see it. I'm sure I don't know. I don't know, dude. I always used to talk and speak and say things as if my mom was listening, and I don't want to hurt her feelings, and I don't want to make her cry and make her feel bad. And that was a big part of my childhood too, is like, if you speak up about how you're feeling or the pain you're feeling because of something she's doing, it makes her feel like a terrible mother and like worthless and like awful, not good enough, like a failure of a mother. Sometimes she'd cry, and then suddenly you're the one having to kind of parent her when you're a child. You don't know how, and console her and make her feel better and tell her she's not a terrible mom, because that's not the truth, and she doesn't understand that you can fail your child and neglect them and cause all this pain and inflict all this trauma, but that doesn't make you a failure. That doesn't make you a bad mother. It just means you acted in this way that caused damage. And in fact, when you go, woe is me, and cry and, fall apart because of it, it leaves no room for your child to actually feel seen, to actually feel loved, to actually feel heard, to actually feel like you understand them and you want to work together to make it better. It just leaves them feeling like they should swallow their feelings, swallow their pain, swallow their experiences, so their parents don't feel insecure or bad or not good enough. Hide the truth to protect their ego. And so, I don't know, like if other people watch this video and they say, wow, you're a terrible child and, you should just be fucking grateful and, your mom does so much for you and works so hard. And I think anyone would, understand her. I think that's true. And what I experience is fucking true. Right? And you don't see me looking at her perspective of she's doing the best she can and what was she and she's had a very difficult time and she struggled a lot and nobody gives you guidebook on how to be a parent. I don't hear that and immediately go, oh, I'm such a terrible son. I'm going to fall apart and break into all these different pieces because I'm a terrible son for criticizing my mom. I'm terrible. I'm horrible. I can't stand it. I can't do it anymore. I don't know what I'm doing. It's so hard. Like, I don't do that. I say, I get it. And I used to swallow my experience. But now I'm saying, I get it. I understand it. And my fucking experience matters. My experience is valid. The way I feel matters. You neglected me. There's guilt in this relationship. There's resentment. There's bitterness. There's trauma. There's pain. And I have been the victim of a lot of this. And that's fucking real. And that's true. And I am standing my fucking ground on it because you don't say to my problems what I say to yours. I say to yours, I see them. I understand them. I hear them and I have deep love and compassion for you. And all of the things that led you up to act in that way or to be this way or to have this struggle. You're not saying that to me. You're saying, I'm a terrible mother. I failed. I'm not good enough. Blah, blah, blah. Making it about you. Instead of saying, I get it. I see how painful it is. I see how alone you feel. I see how held back you feel by depression and my resentment and my bitterness. And maybe I shouldn't even help if that help comes at a cost of bitterness and resentment. If I'm going to help, swallowing my bitterness and resentment and turning it into communication. So I'm really trying really hard to break free and be a completely, fully self-sufficient, independent adult. I really want to. And it's rare that I ask for help. And some people literally have no one they could call on to ask for help. I know some people that are in pretty dusty situations and they still find a way. They call on their neighbor, they call on, this one person they know, they call on anybody and anything that they can think of. So I don't know, I feel like everybody can always find someone to call if they reach out. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should try someone new. See what happens. I don't know who to ask. My neighbors? Maybe. I don't know. It's complicated. It's hard to think about. And nobody teaches you any of this. But I'm going to go to the gym. I have a chicken pot pie, thank God. I've just been starving for like a couple weeks now. So hungry and it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't have a job. I have a business that I'm starting. And it's not exactly profitable. And I could get a part-time job, but Sometimes that completely hinders your progress with starting a business. And you just have to kind of eat it and push through the ugly part to get to the part where it's good. And I'm trying to get there really fucking hard. So I feel a lot better now that I've talked that. I don't even know what to eat. I'm so hungry. Maybe I'll go get a Frappuccino. I only have like $20 left, but I don't know. When you're like so hungry, sometimes going to the grocery store to buy something that's cheaper by a couple dollars doesn't feel worth it when you're like crashing, you know? I don't know. And then I do start to believe what my mom says, like I'm just a leech and I will never be a person who can make it on their own. Or my dad says that. And they don't say it to me, like they'd never use the word leech, but it's just in the way they talk, you know? I'm really trying. I'm so hungry. I'm gonna go get some food. I'm gonna go to the gym. Every day I try to do ballet turns, and every day I try to do calisthenics, and every day I try to do stretching, and every day I try to do posing, because I really want to be a model. Although, like, I don't know, I felt like that's kind of like a new thing. I want to be a model, and I've always felt like my whole life I don't want to say it out loud, but I felt like I've not been like pretty enough to do something like that. Like I've always felt like I'm ugly. And I feel like that started when I was about 8 too. I can see the change in my body and my spirit around that age, like age 8 or 9. Like my hair was like bright blonde, and it went to almost like my skin got really pale. I got really thin. My hair turned extremely dark, and the coping mechanism started. And that's been 20 years just trying to survive. And so, I don't know, like, I guess I like, want to be like, be able to do either bodybuilding or posing as a model as a way to come back to the little boy that I was a long time ago, who felt pretty and who felt like somebody. And like to be seen instead of trying to hide. I do want to do that. And I do think I can, even though I've been through a lot of trauma. And I don't want to lie to myself anymore to try to appease my parents' egos and not make them feel all the painful feelings of what comes up when you feel like you weren't perfect as a parent. Nobody's fucking perfect. Get over it. Okay? And start honoring what my truth is. And that I have a lot of pain, a lot of trauma, and nobody to talk to about it. Besides maybe a therapist. when I get one. Hopefully. But I can't talk to them because it just becomes too much emotionally to hear my truth. And it's much easier to validate their own pain, create all, whether you want to call them excuses or reasons, than for me to understand them completely, but never to flip the coin where that I feel understood. And I know people that literally go their whole fucking lives waiting for their parents to not be here anymore before they actually are honest and heal those fucking wounds. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to hurt my mom. I don't want to hinder her. But I don't want to fucking lie at all anymore. I don't want to lie. And I've been in a lot of pain for a long time. And that pain has hindered me. And if I can heal it, and in order to heal it, you have to see it. And it helps if the person who inflicted the pain sees it with you and you see it together. And you can forgive it and let it go and find a way forward. Then you can move through it. But I haven't done that for a long time because I didn't know how. And everything I'm doing right now in life is for like the 6-year-old, 7-year-old version of me. Because I used to do ballet and I used to do gymnastics and I used to sing. And I quit for all these different reasons, whether it was too hard or I didn't think I had what it took to do the work. Or if it was something that I was bullied for, like ballet. I actually do remember my uncle Tim saying something to me about and my cousins, all the boy cousins saying something about how, and it wasn't intentional, but it was I don't need to say that. I don't need to excuse it of oh, it wasn't intentional or they didn't. Shut the fuck up. Who cares? It hurt me the way it fucking hurt me. And the truth is, there was a comment of why do you do ballet? Ballet's for girls, or that's weird. It was something like that. And I stopped. And my mom asked me when I said I wanted to quit ballet, why? And I just said I just didn't want to do it anymore. And I know there's no reason to think like this, because I think if I do make it and if I can become the dancer that I wanted to be as a little boy, that would help so many more people. But I do sometimes think, what if I didn't have that, What if I stayed and I felt safe dancing? And I did it for a long time. I definitely wouldn't be where I am now, and I wouldn't maybe be able to help people who've lost themselves in the pain of all the experiences of their life. I wouldn't be able to help those people at all because I wouldn't be able to relate to them. So I'm not boo-hoo, what if, it's in some ways it's good, but it's also hard and sad. Because now I'm trying to refine it again. And I'm 28. And I could be 38. And I could be 48. And I could be 58. But I'm finally trying to make it happen. And this is a good age to do it. I think I started singing at 9 years old, 8 years old or something. Maybe 8 or 9, I don't know. One thing interesting about singing is I was never very good. And I worked really hard. Like I did voice lessons for years. I did so much work. I studied music theory. I studied all this stuff. And at the end of the day, I think if your chakras are fucked up, like your heart, your solar plexus, your throat, you cannot get the most beautiful sound out that you were made to make. Because you'll hold tension here from pain or fear. Like there was so much in my singing journey about people telling me you sound obnoxious or you're too loud or you don't sound good, and me internalizing that and thinking I should hide, I should shrink, I should pull myself into a smaller shell to make these people happy. And that develops a lot of physical habits in your singing that take years to undo. I couldn't breathe for a long time, especially in high school. And that's connected to your heart chakra. And also your diaphragm, which is your self-worth chakra. Yeah, there's just so much. There's so much. And I feel so much better now that I said it. And the reason why I post these videos, although it makes me feel better when only less than 5 people see it. The reason I post these videos, even if, over 100 people see it or whatever, is because I feel like if it's out there in the world, not only can I revisit it to remember the path I took to move through my feelings, because that's what this is, right? When I started this recording 45 minutes ago, I felt pain, unidentified pain, and emotional pain in my body, and I didn't know where it was or what it was from. And if I were to just, process through this and not record it, I might feel stuck again and not know how I moved through that emotion, how I moved through that feeling and got to the other side. And when I'm talking like this, part of it is because I'm a Gemini moon, which means I process my feelings by talking. But when I talk like this, it helps me revisit this video later to look at, how did I get there? How did I come back home? How did I release the emotion, release the stagnancy, release the stuck feelings so that I could get to the place where I want to go get food now. I want to go to the gym. I feel hopeful. I feel lighter. I feel okay. I feel okay. And if it's recorded, it's like a blueprint. And I say this all the time, but when there's 3 views on one of my videos, oftentimes it's because I'm re-watching a video. Sometimes late at night when I'm really depressed and feel ugly and feel lost and don't know what to do, and I could watch anyone else's YouTube, but I want to watch mine. And I watch mine and it always makes me feel less alone. And it always makes me feel like somebody's on my side. And it always makes me feel like I have a friend. And it's me. And I can see it. It's not just like a make-believe thing or a mirror. It's me. And I feel like that same gift that I give myself is what other people sometimes take away. If they find my videos, And so I want to just put it there, vulnerably, as much as people say, don't post stuff on the internet, don't say anything, like, I just feel like the world is so full of fake. It's so full of fake that sometimes it's so healing to see something real. And I tried my fucking best to just be my real, authentic self. And talk about my feelings and move my feelings through me. And that, some people are gonna hate it. They're like, oh, this bitch, don't like him at all. But some people won't. So, the video is coming to an end. I'm gonna get in my car. I'm so grateful because I was able to buy gas today. I made $50 on Saturday, and I cleaned these people's patio. I worked really hard, and he was really upset with me when I arrived because he had expected me on Friday, and the email said Saturday, and I think he thought the email said Friday, and I wasn't gonna fight. But I just apologized, and he was quite upset. It wasn't a good look for business. But I spent 3 hours cleaning their patio, and I was real thorough. I cleaned shit like the way I would want it to be cleaned. So I literally took apart all the patio furniture. I vacuumed all of the dust off the patio furniture. I wiped clean the grill. I cleaned the cobwebs out of everything. I cleaned the furniture. I took out the trash. And the tiles I cleaned vigorously with a mop. I washed the water on them. Then I cleaned them up with a mop. And it took me 3 hours. And the tiles were this beautiful blue color. And they ended up giving me an extra $20, which is why I have $20 extra in my wallet right now, and I can go get food because he did that. And frankly, I should have had better equipment, and if I had known what I'm doing, I could have completed it faster, but it is what it is. You learn as you go, and I'd never cleaned a patio before, so that's a new learning experience. But I'm proud of myself for that because I made that money. What happened was I was able to buy gas, and my tank was at empty. I don't even know what I would do. I literally don't know what I would do right now if I didn't have money for gas. Pretty sure I don't have any other money in my bank accounts or credit cards or anything. I would maybe have to ask my neighbor, or that's what I would have to do. I'd have to ask my neighbor if I could work for them, clean something so I can get some gas money and money for food. But I was able to get it, and I got gas money, and I bought 2 canned soups, and I bought frozen pot pie. I think I bought a bunch of ramen too. Ramen is helpful because it has a lot of calories. And if you're just trying to eat enough so that you don't, die, it really helps. It really helps a lot, and it's very cheap. So I bought ramen. I might go buy milk because I have a little bit extra. Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe I'll go buy a jug of. I usually do chocolate milk because it has more calories, and you could eat like 2 glasses and get like 500 calories, and that will help you for like a long time. That's almost a quarter of what regular people need. But I'm just so happy that I got gas today and I have the money for that. And I have money for a little bit more food too. But I don't know what to do about the filter. I don't know what to do. Because I really need a new vacuum filter. And I don't know how much it costs. But my filter's really dusty, really bad. I don't know what to do. I can't clean on Wednesday. It's Monday and I have a client on Wednesday. And I can't clean his house if the vacuum filter is messed up. I do have another vacuum though. Maybe I'll have to use that and then take the money I make from Wednesday to buy a new filter. And I got another job for, I think Friday, or maybe it's next Tuesday. I think it's next Tuesday. So we do have some jobs lined up. And every time I get a job, I get a little bit more money and I can use that for things. But it's like every time rent rolls around, it's like having hundreds of dollars can be really hard. I'm trying to keep track of like all my money and what bills come in when, and some bills come in the middle of the month, which kind of screws me over. Because then I like am trying to build up my money for rent for the month, and then in the middle of a month it's like boom, $100, boom, $50, boom, another $100, and suddenly you're down like all this money that you were working towards your next month's rent, and then you end up with like $20 at the end of the month. But anyways. So I'm feeling like it's time to go. Thanks for listening. I wasn't expecting to talk for an hour, but just expecting literally like 10 minutes, but it does be like that sometimes. Now I'm gonna go to the gym, get a full body workout, record all my videos, come back home, be proud of myself for all the work that I've done today. I didn't go door to door, I meant to do that, but I'm just trying to survive, honestly. Just trying to survive from day to day. And I can get more clients when I go door to door. It would be really nice to save up for a power washer, even like a cheaper one, because it could help me clean patios with like a soft nozzle that doesn't destroy the tile, you know? I could be really good at that. I would really like that too. But I have to be able to save up enough money for it. When I do buy it, it would be a tax deduction, which is nice. So, anyway. I should let you go. And I'm going to keep going.